Good morning. I'm Pastor Chavaleh, and I'm very glad to welcome you virtually to Mount Cross this morning as we continue a little nerd fest through the Gospel of Mark. And today we journey with Jesus to the house of Simon and Andrew and meet the mother-in-law of Simon Peter. So beginning in verse 29 of chapter 1. And immediately, because this is Mark's favorite word, immediately coming out of the synagogue, they went into the house of Simon and Andrew with James and John. And Simon's mother-in-law was lying down having a fever. And right away, they spoke to Jesus concerning her. And he approached and he raised her, grasping her hand. And the fever left her, and she was serving them. And then evening came, and the sun set, and they brought to him everyone in the town that had illness or had a possession by a demon. And the whole city gathered together at the door. And he healed many with illnesses or various diseases, and he cast out many demons, but he didn't allow the demons to speak because they knew him. The gospel of the Lord. Thanks be to God. This is such an exciting passage. So many things are happening. It seems like just a one-off healing of another woman in Mark's gospel because there are so many. But this one is special because of the language surrounding it and what happens next. First of all, he comes into her and he raises her. Igeran, and he grasps her by the hand, and this word for grasp is kratisas, and the word for raise is igeran, which is raised from the dead, the same language that is used for Christ and the same language that is used for Lazarus. So really, this is the first resurrection story in the Gospel of Mark, even though it doesn't literally say that she's dead. He reaches down to grasp her and pull her from death. And this is really exciting language because in the rest of the ancient world at the time that these stories were being written, this grasping was done by gods. The ancient Greek gods would grasp humans to kidnap them and to take advantage of them. And one of the oldest pieces of Christian writings that we have, the Christ hymn in the book of Philippians, says Christ did not come to grasp and grasp at power, but it's an echo of this language that all of the Roman gods are graspers, they're takers, and especially they kidnap humans by grasping them with this same special word. But Jesus doesn't grasp Simon's mother-in-law to take advantage of her, to kidnap her, but he is snatching her from the jaws of death. And so his grasp is not grasping at power, not grasping at something that he can possess and take advantage of, but grasping to rescue and to restore. And then he lets her go once she is restored to life. That is something that we won't hear because we don't have this pantheon of gods that we're always thinking about that are kidnappers. If you think of the stories in mythology of the pantheon of gods, that's just a theme that happens over and over again. Zeus comes and he kidnaps a young woman, or a person is kidnapped to be taken by the gods for some purpose. So that echo in this language would be heard in the ancient world as a difference, a contrast Jesus is a different kind of God in every possible way. So that's the first very exciting thing. And what happens right away is the fever leaves her and she was serving them. That is the immediate response to being given new life by Jesus, is to serve others. This is not a throwaway, oh, she's the woman of the house that's right away she's been sick right away, she's going to get up and serve. No, this is an intentional comment by the writer of this gospel that the response to this gift of new life that Jesus gives is service. The response isn't self-centered celebration. Oh, look, I'm alive. I'm going to eat, drink, and be merry. The response is service. Service to Jesus through service to others. So that is this embedded theology of the Gospel of Mark, that Jesus did not come to be served, but to serve. And our response should also be becoming a servant to others. It's right here. Our response to being given new life in Jesus Christ is to serve. And that is the most authentic and immediate, if you like Mark's language, response to Jesus. So then we have another feature of Mark's gospel where he really loves to kind of use some hyperbole and say the whole town was at the door. The crowd, everybody, the entire town shows up. And this is this crowd that continually follows Jesus, that is intrigued by him, that wants things from him. And this will continue through the Gospel of Mark, and it shows an even greater contrast at the end when the abandonment happens and the crowd falls away. Because for the writer of the Gospel of Mark, the pain, the physical pain of the crucifixion is huge. The humiliation is huge. But the real base pain is the abandonment. And that resonates with us, doesn't it? That is the worst. If we have community, we can endure most things if we can endure them together. But the real grit of the crucifixion is the abandonment. And that is the real promise also that we will never, ever be abandoned by God, that he is experiencing this abandonment with us. So when we are most alone, Christ is alongside. But that's getting a little ahead of the story since we are in the first chapter right now. So let's talk about this huge crowd. He heals, he demonstrates power, and the spirits, the demons, know who he is, but he won't let them speak. It's very interesting, again, comment from this writer of the Gospel of Mark, that right now, when Jesus is demonstrating all of this power, Act 1, Jesus, power, 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 miracles, healing, that he says, no, don't tell. I'm just going to run around doing these acts of power, and I do not want you to speak. But Act 2, Jesus, is when they figure it out. And it's almost immediately, in the Gospel of Mark language, after the disciples really figure out, oh, this is the Son of God, that Jesus turns, and he's not going to be demonstrating that power anymore, but he's going to be demonstrating vulnerability and weakness and acceptance of all of the bad things that happen to us. So this is a very exciting moment in the Gospel of Mark. Hope you've enjoyed having a little geek out with me. And soon we will head into the next bit, which is what happens. I got to take my glasses off so I can see my Greek New Testament. Lots more demon casting out. Oh, and a group that, again, he says, he cleanses them and says, go show yourself to the priest, but don't tell anybody. Good stuff. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you Sunday.